Hi, and welcome back to Plastic Models by a Regular Dude. Part number 3 of the Tamiya 1/35 scale German 3.5 ton truck, AHN with 3.7 centimeter flak 37 anti-aircraft gun. So, in the last episode, we got steps 1 through 4 completed, and I primed this. It's awaiting paint. But now we are ready to move on to step 5, which is the engine. So without a bunch of goofing around, I'm going to cut these parts off and get them ready for assembly. Alright, so I stuck this together and it is glued. So then we got to put this on here. I'm assuming this is the head, and it will fit like this. Now it'll fit either way, so you got to make sure that this post kind of thing is on this side. And I need to do a little bit of cleanup first, I think, here, because when this thing's molded, this right here, whoops, it's kind of at an angle, so it's making the head rock. Not that it'll really matter that much, but yeah, it's a little better. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but you know, it's higher there, so there's a gap. So, you know, I think I'm going to try and sand that a little bit. All right, that's a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this here orange glue. Well, the glue isn't orange, but the cap is. The glue is clear. See? And a little there, a little there, a little there, a little there, and plop. There it is. That's looking stellar. I think I'm going to put a little bit of the old Tet on there as well. That would be Tamiya extra thin to the unwashed masses. Alright, and then we got this part right here. And whoops, that goes here. Can't really tell. Oh, yep, looks like it's sided. Let's see. Not really. So I need to clean this up a little bit as well. Now, there is like some seams on here, and there's a lot of junk like that. I'm not going to mess with cleaning all that up because this is going to be totally invisible. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just putting it together because it's there, and don't know if it has any structural properties in the overall build. Alright, so that takes care of step 5 already. Moving right along. So let's cut all these parts off and glue those in place. So let's start with a 67, which is this thing right here. So we got A67. We've got .44. There's a 65 here somewhere, right there. Okay, so first on this, now we forgot that little part there. That is a 80. That's a little one right there. And I gotta cut that little bit of sprue gate off. Boom, ready. All right, so I missed another part. Now I think that might be it, but we shall see. All right. Okay, so let's do this one first, the one I just cut off, A68. That one. Goes right there, and it's got kind of a diamond-shaped hole with a matching pin on the part. We got that. And then we got this part right here. And it goes, whoops, there's a little hump right there that faces up. So that goes right there like that. Make sure it's positioned correctly. Then we've got this right here, and that looks like the starter, since it looks like it's connecting up to the where the flywheel would be there. So that goes right there. So let's throw some cement down on there like that and push it up, well, up into place, kinda. There we go. Oh my goodness. There we nope. There. That's it. That fits really good. And the detail, you probably can't see it in the video, but the detail on this actually looks pretty good. Like there's some real fine detail on the fan blades there, or the propeller blade. That's a propeller. You may not know this, but this was based off of an aircraft engine, and that's the propeller right there, and that's how they propelled this thing across the ground. The drive line and all that kind of stuff, that was all just to throw people off, to think it was regular tech, not high, like really awesome top secret tech from using an aircraft engine for the truck. And I'm kidding, just being funny, just a little bit of humor there, folks. I do engage in it once in a while. All right, so there's all that. Oh wait, I gotta put this little smokestack on here. This, I'm thinking that's probably an oil filler cap, maybe? Like that. Okay, now we got to put the fan belt on first, and it looks like we've got two sides here. We've got one side that protrudes a little bit, the other side that doesn't, and it looks like, if I'm reading the illustration correctly, the protruding one goes down here, the non-protruding goes up here. However, I'm thinking if if one were to kind of screw it up, it really wouldn't matter. All right, so that goes there. Then this one here, this is the main. There we go. That fits on there. There's like an indentation in the back here of the pulley that fits over that. And it goes like that. And let's get a little cement there. A little cement there and there. A little cement there. And then the propeller goes right there like that. So I would say that this kit gives you a pretty decent platform for some nice detailing if someone were so inclined. Looks pretty good. All right, so let's set that off to the side, and then let's cut off these. That looks like an intake manifold, carburetor maybe, air intake, just guessing. Surely that's not, I don't know, maybe not. Oh, looks like we got two things going on here. Yeah, that's what that is, and I think that's the exhaust. I don't know. Some parts. Okay, so this part here, it has a diamond shaped hole there and there. One is noticeably larger than the other. So it would be somewhat difficult to put the wrong piece in the wrong place. So this one goes here. And for that, I think I'm going to use this thicker cement. Put too much on there. But hey, that's what it's there for, right? That's just a tad long, so I'll use my other cutter that I don't care about and cut it off so it sits flush. There we go. That's more like it. It's flush. The flange on the bottom of that's flush. All right, so then this little thing here, now here is something to watch for because it's got diamond shaped hole there. It also has one there. The illustration shows it facing this way, so therefore it is crucial to get it right, and that doesn't fit in there. So I'm gonna have to clean that up a little bit. All right, it's glued on there, and then this piece first goes here, whoops, like that. And then this one goes there like that. That looks pretty good. Glue there and there and there. And viola. The engine is finito. All right, while the engine is drying, So basically I have step 7 done. Before I move on to step 8, I want to cut this part off here, 856, and glue it in place. So I can paint it. Maybe I won't glue it in place just yet. Yep. I think I'll cut it off, paint it, and then glue it in place. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Some of you may cringe, but I'm at a crossroads here. I am going to glue this engine in place, and prime it in place, and paint it in place with an airbrush. Let's see how good I can do without getting a bunch of overspray. So, with that, I'm going to glue this on here right now. And it goes, now here's something that's funny. These little pins are supposed to go inside of there. So, how exactly am I supposed to do that when they're already glued in place? Don't know. Thinking I'm going to have to chop one off. Do it that way, because see, it goes on there like that. But yet, how am I supposed to put the other one on? It would have been better to leave one of these off, put it in position, slide it down, glue that, and yeah, but that's not the way it is. So therefore, I am going to have to, what do you call it? Improvise. So first, I'm going to cut this one off just a little bit shorter. And cut this one completely off. Aghast. No, don't cut it off. I did. Okay, so that's going to go there. And that's going to fit on the front. Right. Oops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Oh, whoa, shnikes. So I can do this without breaking a bunch of little parts off. Okay, and that goes there. Oh, it actually worked. Should have put some glue in there though. Yeah, that actually worked. Wow. Nice. So we'll take some cement, put it in there, and there, and there. And lift that up just a little bit to make it even. Cool. Wow. Stoked. All right, so I'm going to let that dry for a second, and while that's drying, I'm going to cut off the exhaust, which is right here, like that. All right, this part here, this I don't make a mistake and chop off the radiator cap there. That would be a bad thing. Whoa, it goes this way, and it fits right there. Whoops, whoop. Fits right there somehow. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's it. All right, probably better put the actual radiator grill on first. That is crooked. That is not. Okay, so I need to put this grill on first. A little cement there, there, and a little bit right there. All right. And then this will go right like that. Now, this doesn't really, oh, you know what? There is something else we need to do. We need to put this, and I'm going to do this before I glue this part, because this will help, I think. This will help position that where it needs to go, like that. Look at that. So a little bit of cement there, a little bit there, a little bit there, and finally, take a guess. Yep, you got it. Right there. Look at that. One radiator installed. Okay, whoops, forgot to turn my light on. There we go. Shed some light on the subject. Okay, next up on step 8 is to install the exhaust. Now, you may be wondering, why are you putting the exhaust on without painting it first? Well, because I'm going to paint it later. Okay, so this fits this part right here. The end has a this is just an observation. It's weird, but all of the pins pretty much so far on this vehicle have been like diamond shaped instead of the typical round. Anybody know what that is? If you do, please put in the comments below. Like if you have insider information on ICM's, you know, methods. Not expecting any what do you call it? Corporate espionage or any of that kind of thing, but I'm just kind of curious. Oh man, that's okay, let's do it this way. Okay, that fits. Okay, that's weird. Oh, let's see. How does this go? Oh, I see. This goes like, oh, this is really hard. This goes here like that. Like that. And then this right there goes right there. Oh. This is tricky. Tricky, ticky, tabby. Oh my word. Okay, I'm getting all over the place here, folks. What I'm going to do first here is I'm going to glue this to anchor everything down. Then I'm going to position that part. So, a little bit of glue here. There. And there. Hold it in place. All right, that ends step 9. So now we're on to wheels. So I'm going to assemble. I think I'm going to paint the wheels first before I assemble them into the tires. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to hold off on that for now. And we'll move on down to 11 here and put together the fuel tank and the drive line and the spare tire holder, bracket, whatever. So let me cut those parts off. All right, so this is kind of cool here. Okay, so we've got another diamond-shaped hole there and a corresponding pin. We've got this bracket here that fits right there. and then there's a hole here to fit there. But, well, how are you going to do that? Well, actually, it's kind of cool because it's a slot shaped hole, so you can slot it in from the side. So you start here like that, then that goes there like that, and then slide that over like that. Boom! That is spectacular. So, real quick, like, some thoughts. So far, and it's still early in the build, but so far I am digging this ICM kit. Which means, if the opportunity ever arises in the future to build another ICM kit, I will be all over it like stink on cheese. Okay, so when gluing this together, according to the illustration, these brackets go that way, this hole goes this way, so it goes like this. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm going to tack it together. Run some cement around the edges. Then I'll have to sand those seams. Make sure the ends are aligned. Now, it's kind of nice, but where these mounting straps go around the circumference of the fuel tank, the fittings are where the seam is, so you don't have to worry so much about cleaning up seam lines on the straps. Sometimes that can be a little tricky and frustrating, but in this case they've made it in a way where it's not really a factor. So all I have to do is make sure I take care of the main seam lines all the way around. So I'm going to let that dry pretty good before we start trying to clean that up. Okay, one of the things I had read about this kit is the tires being somewhat horrific. Now these are the flexible, rubbery looking things, and there's a huge bit of flash right here, but it's coming off pretty easily with this nice sharp number 11 blade, so shouldn't be too bad. A little bit of work and I should be able to get it cleaned off. Now this one here I'm going to use for the spare because this looks like the worst of the tires. The other side's not bad. It's got a pretty good seam along the right in the center here. May have to see if I can sand it. Yeah, sanding it works fine. This is a 240 grit. On the according to the national and international grit gauge for abrasives. And yes, I just made all of that up. So just gonna go around like this. There are aftermarket tires for this thing, wheels, but they are pretty spendy. And I thought, you know, I want to build this out of the box, so I'm just going to use what is in the box. Yeah, see, that's fine. that'll work. Just double check, make sure I get it all. So there we go, that worked fine. And then we've got E1, which is the spare tire. Well, which is one of the rims. And that just pops in there like that. So if I want to glue it, I'm going to have to use super glue, but I don't know that I am, just because, yeah, see, this fits, whoops, there's a couple of notches there, and then a couple of yeah, it fits like that. You know, I could actually, and I think I will, glue this part together before I put it on the rim, because that just fits there and there. It'd be easier than trying to do it with the tire in place. So we got that. Okay, now there we go. Okay. Let that cure up a bit. Okay, next up I need to glue the tow hooks on the front. So a little bit of cement there. Let's see. Now, there is no right or left on these. Ah, shoot. So it doesn't really matter. However, they do flare outwards because they're slightly angled. See, it flares out that way. Like that. Okay, so we got that. Now I need to glue the toe pintle together. Now, on the instructions, it indicates if you're going to have the trailer towed, you need to cut this little strap or bar, whatever it is. I think it's kind of a retainer deal. Needs to be cut off. And I think I'm going to be doing that, so I'm going to cut it off. It's very simple. Just take the old cutter here and cut it. Like that, and then using this ginormous sander, sand the burr off that's left from cutting that part off. Okay, and then this part, this doesn't have a top or a bottom, so it's okay either way, but it goes right there like that, and it's pretty tight friction fit, so I can put it in like that and then glue it with a little bit of Tamiya extra thin. Like that, and let that dry for just a minute so it doesn't get twisted, and then I'll mount it right there in that diamond shaped hole or sideways square hole. And here's the tip. So there's a cool tool called a flexi file, and this is it. It's a flexible aluminum framework with these pins with little heads on them, and then these nifty little sanding strips, and they come in different grits. It's really coarse and moves on through pretty smooth, and they are really good for sanding curved surfaces because it flexies. So it helps avoid sanding flat spots on cylindrical shaped objects. Just like that. So you can get one, and they're all over the internet. Just type in flexi file, because I don't remember where I got this one, and I'll probably get a comment, hey, where'd you get that flexi file? Well, I don't remember. So just type it in, and they're generally pretty easy to find. Quite a few online retailers carry them. So just a little tip, something you might want to check into for stuff like this. All right, that's all sanded up and good to go. So let's see, where is this part? The filler. All right, so the filler neck just goes right there like that, and use the little extra thin, see if it'll dissolve it a little bit so I can get a nice smooth, seamless. There we go. See, any potential seam, extra thin, softens the plastic enough, you mash it down in there, and you are good to go. So then once it is assembled, it goes here like this. And for that, you know what, I'm going to scrape some of this paint off so I get a good bond or good weld, however you want to say it. Quick comment on primers. So I've used quite a few different primers, and you know, a lot of them are really good. But I think, for me, and in my estimation and my usage and the results that I get, my favorite is Mr. Surfacer 1500 thinned with Mr. Leveling Thinner, MLT. Reason being, it goes on really smooth. The coverage is really good. You can thin it to whatever consistency you want, depending on how quickly you want it to cover or whatever. So just a little bit of comment. It's good, good stuff. I like it. So let's enough of that. Let's put this toe pintle on here, like, whoops, like that. All right, so let's set that down and let everything dry. And that will actually, with the exception of the wheels, conclude step 12. So from there we move on to the cab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let all this stuff dry really good. Then I'm going to get the wheels ready for paint, and I'll get those primed. I'll get the rest of this stuff primed, get this primed, and be ready for paint. And we'll get all this painted. I may even install the wheels. I usually save that, but I may install the wheels. We'll see. But anyway, we'll get all that painted, and then we can move on to step 13, which starts with the cab. All right, so for the wheels, the metal portion, it's kind of cool how they've done it. The parts for the front wheel are on one side of the sprue, and for the back wheel on the other side, so you don't have to worry about getting any parts mixed up. So I'm going to get these parts cut off, and then I'll glue them together. Okay, so this part right here is raised, and it fits in these spots right there. So hold those together, and glue them thusly. And then this part right here, hole there, pin there. For that, I'm going to use this thicker cement. Drop that in place, and that is ready to go. And then this here, same thing. Drop that in there. Make sure it's flat and even all the way around, because there's a little bit of wiggle room on that. So there's that. So now I'll do it for the other front and rear wheel, and those will be done. All right, so got all this painted. I actually used Panzer Gray, and I got that all painted. Got the wheels painted Panzer Gray as well, and yes, it's still going to be Dinkelgelb, but I'm working on a plan here. There's the spare. And then got the engine painted. It just called for like gunmetal metallic color, so that's what I did. I just sprayed it all in place. And as you can see, I didn't get very much overspray, if any. Got the alternator and the starter. Got those. Might be a generator, not an alternator, sorry. Got those painted black, as well as the radiator hose. And then I painted the exhaust and the muffler leather brown as a base coat, using AK 3rd generation modeling colors, acrylics, water-based acrylics. Same with the black. So that finishes up all the way up to step 9. Okay, and then 10, I've got the wheel parts put together, but not the tires. So I've got step 11, which is the drive line and the fuel tank. That is done. And then I've got 12 done, except for putting the wheels on. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to glue the hubs, the actual wheels hubs, in place and leave the rubber off, because that can be put on later. That way I don't have to worry about mask anything off or anything like that. See, it fits very easily since these are this flexible rubber. That way I can make sure these are glued into place and they get painted along with everything else. And I can also make sure that these wheels are level and so forth. So let's see. Now the back wheels have a really snug fit. The front wheels have somewhat of a loose fit. So I'm gonna have to make sure I've got the front wheels nice and even. Shouldn't be too hard. The back wheels, they're really tight, so I've already got those pushed into place, and I'm just going to use some extra thin here to glue them in place. Because what I want to do is whenever I paint the Dunkel Gleb, I want to do it all at the same time without the tires. I need to make sure that I glue these on the proper direction because the brake cylinders, the wheel brake cylinders need to be facing a certain way. So, ooh man. Okay, there we go. There we go, that's better. So let's reapply the extra thin. Like that. And then these, same thing, they go a certain direction. And for these, I think for those, I'm going to use gel super glue. So I want it to set up pretty quick. So let's put a little bit here. Maybe, there we go. That. And that. Okay, so let's get them going the right direction. I may slide this off screen here for a second so I can make sure from overhead that it is aligned properly. So I think I'm going to end part 3 right here. So with that done, when I come back in part 4, we will start on the cab. So thanks for following along with part 3 of the Tamiya 1/35 scale German 3.5 ton truck AHN with 3.7 centimeter Flak 37 AA gun. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, blah, 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 etc., etc., and I'll see you all next time.